In the 20th century, hundreds of different kinds of animals have disappeared from the wild. The animals in these stories are all victims of human exploitation. The thylacine was one of the strangest creatures that has ever existed. From its head and teeth, you might think it was a wolf. It had stripes, very like a tiger's. It was capable of running stiffly on all fours, like a hyena, or sitting upright on its hind legs and hopping like a wallaby. This kangaroo masquerading as a wolf was such a mixture of creatures that no one has ever worked out what to call it, except for its scientific name, the thylacine. Around 1,000 years ago, the thylacine was found in Australia, but its more recent range was the Australian island of Tasmania, where it preferred open forest or grassland. However, disturbance from early settlers forced it to live in the more remote forests of Tasmania. Lairs were usually in caves, amid rock piles or in hollow trees, in which the animals would spend all their daylight hours. This wolf-like carnivore measured about 1.5 meters in overall length, including its tail, and stood around 60 centimeters high at its shoulder. Being a marsupial, the thylacine carried its young in a unique backward-opening pouch on its belly and below the 12 to 20 tiger-like stripes across its back and rump. Its double-hinged jawbone was a spectacular and unique feature. The thylacine could fit the whole head of its prey in its mouth and had the strength to rip it clean off with one bite. Nearly always hunting alone and at night, the thylacine fed on kangaroos, wallabies, and ground birds, doggedly pursuing their prey until, exhausted, it surrendered. Death would usually come quickly for its prey, the thylacine's immensely strong jaws crushing its skull. But as Tasmania became colonized by Europeans, its presence was no longer tolerated, particularly by settling farmers. The thylacine gained an unfair reputation as a sheep killer, even though many more sheep were actually killed by domestic dogs. In 1888, the Tasmanian government offered a bounty for the thylacine. Between 1888 and 1914, over 2,000 thylacines were registered as being killed and turned in for the reward. The last animal seen in the wild was shot in Morbana in 1930. This rare footage is of the last captive thylacine. It died alone at Hobart Zoo in 1933. All that remains of the thylacine in its wild surroundings are Aboriginal rock paintings, perhaps as much as 11,000 years old. There are also Aboriginal stories which offer glimmers of hope for its survival. Sightings of the thylacine, or at least evidence of the creature, have been reported on a number of occasions in the past few years. However, they have always been quickly discounted by scientists. We must accept the tragic loss of a unique creature of the New World.